Okay, so let me tell you, Jeff Bezos, when he was the CEO of Amazon, he would forward customer emails to the people who are in charge of all the teams, and he wouldn't say like, "Hey, how are you? I want you to check this out," or "Okay, maybe you can stop by my office and we can talk about it." No, He would forward any email that he got from a customer to the team leader with just one little character, a question mark. Okay. And as rumor has it, is that if you were sitting there and you got an email from Jeff Bezos, of course, the guy who started Amazon, and it had just that question mark, people would be like totally freaked out, like, oh my gosh, this is awful. This is awful. You start thinking about it. And I thought it was such a great idea. I started doing that at the Kim Komando Show studios with our team. I just sent one note with just a question mark. But when you start thinking about Jeff Bezos, you know what? He quit. Yeah, he quit before his prime.
Oh,
Oh,
oof.
that was a bad one, wasn't it? Sorry
Eh,
about that. Yeah, okay. It will get better, I promise. It's
okay,
going to
good.
get better. It's going to get better. And on that happy note, welcome. It's Kim Komando Today. It's your 3 or 4 times a week podcast. We haven't decided on how many days a week we're going to do this. So it's like, okay. But we
Sometimes per week.
Yes, it's going to be at least Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that when we actually do it live. And you can watch us on YouTube, Rumble, X, or Facebook. But I think YouTube is the easiest. Just go to youtube.com/Kim Commando, and we do it at 11:30 a.m. on the West Coast, which is, everybody do the math, 2:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Okay, now joining me on Fridays is normally Andrew Babinski, but Andrew called and said he wasn't going to be able to make it on the podcast because he was on the freeway on his way over here when he got rear-ended. Yes.
No.
So he's okay, but you know what it's like when you get into an accident and then you have to like sit there
Oh,
and
he's going to
exchange
be
all the
out there for
paper.
hours.
Oh, he is on the side of the freeway. It's got
Yeah.
to be the worst. And of course, though, Allie Seligman is here, our amazing content queen over at Komando.com and a creator of the newsletters. And oh my gosh, we are ahead this week. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, I know. I've been like, patting myself on the back. All of us
Well,
on the
here,
back. We've been
I'm
working
giving you a
hard.
virtual pet. Yes,
Thank you.
for sure. What do you have coming up?
We are going to talk about health insurance claims. So exciting. But really, I have a way to help you find out what your medical care team is doing instead of just getting that stupid form letter that doesn't tell you anything. And then we asked our audience, are you afraid of AI? And no kidding, Kim, almost 8,000 people answered in our newsletter. So
Wow.
we've got some of the best answers.
And that's 8,000 in just a few
It
hours.
sure is. That went out this
Okay.
morning. Yeah.
Wow. It's just crazy. Just a reminder, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And if you are getting the audio version of the podcast, we'd love you for that. Make sure that you give us a nice 5-star review there and say some kind words. And just a quick reminder, if you have not already entered to win that brand new iPhone 15 valued at $799, come on,
What are you
people.
doing?
Yes, exactly. Go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com, winfromkim.com. All right, let's get this party started with the top 5 things you need to know. It's happening about tech right now. And in Washington, D.C., they're finally trying to figure out, what are we going to do with AI?
You think?
And yeah, and how are we going to make sure that we don't get steamrolled by other countries? And so they put together a 31-page roadmap, a 31-page roadmap, not 28 pages, okay,
Not
not
35.
42. No, just 31 pages. Somebody there said, you know what, we need 31 pages, just 31 pages. That includes $32 billion. So every page is about $1 billion for research and development. And now they're going to hand off this plan to the Senate committees. And um, I think they need some help. I actually have been thinking about this, Al. I mean, if I had the free time, I was thinking about calling my local congressman saying, I read about this. And he was over at our house last week. So I'd see somebody I can actually just text and get
Yeah.
a response from. I'd say, maybe I should help, but I'm afraid I'm going to get sucked down into that tube.
I think you don't have the free time for that because it's not a small job. When I
Yeah.
read about this, the first thing I thought of was remember Mark Zuckerberg sitting there and saying, we make money from ads. Um, if they couldn't understand how Facebook worked, that's a little scary, right? For the
It
AI part.
is. It's very frightening to me. Moving on to number two, Uber is now getting into the shuttle business. I thought this was really strange. Is that now you can order an Uber for up to 55 of your closest friends?
Who
Okay.
has 55 friends?
Just, come on, it's the party bus. Let's do it. And by the way, if you're a Costco member, you now get a discount on Uber Eats. Hmm,
Look at that.
who knew? Okay. But you still have the $1.50 hot dog.
Kim, have you ever had a $1.50 hot dog?
Never. I've never had.
No one's
Never.
surprised.
No, no,
No,
nobody.
no.
I am such a freak. I am. It is so weird. I mean, it's like, okay, so how is that prepared? And, where was it grown?
You take your
And
health seriously. It's good.
yeah, it's good. But sometimes it's like so annoying because I sit there and it's like this morning, I wanted a piece of toast. Okay. And then I looked and there was like bad bread, because Barry went to the store.
Mm.
And then I'm like, okay, where's the Ezekiel bread? And so I'm digging in the freezer, looking for
Did you
Ezekiel
find some?
bread. Yes, I did.
Oh,
I
thank
did.
goodness.
I found like 4 pieces.
Good.
Web traffic is dying. It's down over 60%, moving on number 3, depending upon the site. Why? Because Google search is now coming out even more with Gemini AI. And so what that means is that when you do a Google search, so to speak, is that Google's going to go out there and then they're going to collect all the information off the website and then just put it right there on the screen for you. And so publishers are getting really upset, news publishers in particular, because if you're searching for a news story, normally you'd see a list of the various news media outlets for you to decide which version of that story that you'd like to read. Well, they're not going to do that anymore. Gemini AI is going to go out there and it's going to read all the stories about it and then tell you about the story. But keep in mind, Gemini is a little biased. So you don't really know the version of the story that you're going to get. So now the large media sites are saying this is not something that we should be agreeing to. We cannot allow this to happen because also they're looking at decreasing revenues because if the website traffic is down by 60%, that means that the advertising revenues are down by 60%. And so now they're looking at layoffs and the small media sites are probably looking at bankruptcy.
Oh, I would not be surprised. So they are definitely going to get pushed back. There's going to be one story where Gemini totally messes it up, right? And takes a side, and they're going to say, oops, we're not going to do this for news anymore. We'll do it for everything else, but not for news. I bet that'll happen.
Well, I'll never forget when I asked Gemini for a Bible verse. And it came up and it said, that is too controversial. And then I'm like, I sent you the whole stream.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean a Bible verse is controversial? I actually said that to this AI. And it's like, well, we didn't mean it was that. We meant to the Bible is a copyrighted book. Like, okay. I don't think God's claiming copyright on a Bible verse, just saying. Okay. All right. Moving on to number 4, if you're using Google Chrome, I don't know what's going on with this, but this is our third 0-day attack in a week. Okay. What that means is that the hackers put something out there. There's no fix. That's why they call it 0 day. 0 day. Okay. So if you're using Chrome, go into your settings about Chrome and hit relaunch. But that's really simple. Okay. Just close the Chrome browser and relaunch it, and then you get the fix, which is really nice. And finally, this coming in at number 5. This story does not affect me at all. It doesn't affect me at all.
Okay.
Because I never go to an ATM machine. When's the last time?
Years, literally years.
I can't think of any time that I would put in a PIN number anywhere. It's just, so I looked at this and I was like, wow. The most commonly used and easily guessed PIN in the world is 1234. 1234. Okay.
That hurts.
So yeah, if you're using that, but so says the woman that my passcode on my phone is 00000.
Not
yeah,
great. Not great.
No, I could do better. I know that.
Could. Will you?
But no. What Barry's passcode is 000000.
I'm going to swipe both your phones one day just to make you change these passwords. Seriously, though, if yours is 1234 or your birth year or your address or your anniversary, those are so easy to guess. Make it something no one could guess, please.
Yeah, you definitely want to say that. 1111 is another one.
Oh my gosh.
1212. and then 7777. Okay. And for some reason, there's also on that list is 6969.
Very interesting. No idea what that could reference at all.
Now, can you imagine? Oh, 6969, 6969.
Nice.
There it is. Yes. Oh, it's a big one. Yes. That's a great deal. It's a great deal. Yeah, 6969. Hey, it's Kim Komando today. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, subscribe, whatever it may be. And just a quick reminder, too, that this is not the Kim Komando Show. If you're looking for the Kim Komando Show, that's my big 3-hour weekend show, and it's on over 420 stations. You know, we've been doing this for so many years. Is that you want to get that over at Apple Podcasts, or you can get it at Spotify. And it is commercial free, by the way. And again, that's the Kim Komando Show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or it's a perk of your Komando community membership. All right. So as many of you know that I last year was super excited that I went and bought a Tesla Plaid. Yes. Ooh, yeah. Happy days. And I was so excited. You know, it took me like 2 months to get this Tesla Plaid. And I did a whole bunch of research, and I thought, I'm going to go high end because Plaid is the high end. It looks just like all the other Teslas, by the way. The only way that you can tell if somebody has a Tesla Plaid is that there's like a 4-inch by 3-inch little block on the back of the right-hand side of that car. And it's a plaid. It's like a little plaid pattern.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's the only way that you know if somebody has a Tesla Plaid. And I thought, this is kind of cool because, if you don't know,
Secret
that was
club.
yeah, right. But the Plaid is super fast, has all these extra bells and whistles and all this other stuff. And one of them was full self-driving mode. And at that time, it was $15,000 extra to get the full self-driving mode. It's now $8,000 to get that.
Ouch.
Yes. So a brand new Tesla Plaid about a year ago was $120,000.
It's a lot of dollars, Kim.
A lot of dollars. I sold the car for about $105,000 2 months later.
Okay.
Wasn't the best financial move, but I hated the car. I thought it was shoddy workmanship. I knew that the price wasn't going to go up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that, it's better now to just get rid of it and dump it. Ian was telling me that you can buy a Tesla Plaid slightly used now for about $60,000.
No.
And Hertz is trying to get rid of 30,000 Teslas that they had in their fleet. So if you're looking for a Tesla, Hertz is they're just basically dumping them. You can get them for $20,000, $25,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But the reason why I bring all this up, and people say, why do you beat up Tesla so much? Because I got conned. Okay. I got conned.
Conned how?
Because I was believing all the hype. I thought that this was going to be a great thing. I mean, I thought, I didn't think to ask if CarPlay would work with it. And once you get past the fact that the car farts and all these other things, is that, it's a car that you shouldn't charge in your garage. You got to buy the Tesla charger, which I still have in my garage. I don't know why. I can't, it's like.
Oh, rainy day.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even going to plug anything in there. But the reason why I bring this up is new survey. It's not me beating up Tesla. It's not. Okay. There's a new survey out that says of all the Tesla customers, think about all the millions and millions of Tesla customers, okay, that bought a Tesla, and they got the self-driving mode, okay, because they thought this is going to be something fabulous, something fabulous. Out of all these people, all of them, the percentage of people who dumped it, okay, after the trial period, because you get a month free to try it. Okay. That percentage is 98%.
Whoa, baby.
Okay. 98% of the people say, It doesn't really work. It's not worth the money. I'm not going to have anything to do with this. Okay. And I know that many of you love your Teslas because you send me notes all the time. Say, you know what? You don't understand, Kim Komando, because I love my
This
Tesla.
car
Okay. Let me tell you
farts. It's
something.
the best.
Exactly. And at the holiday time, it does a whole light show with Christmas music and all
Amazing.
this other stuff. But let me tell you, if you drive a Tesla, what I want you to do is I want you to just go down to your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Just do it. Go down. Just go down.
Is this paid for by
No,
Mercedes-Benz?
no, you don't have to buy anything. You don't even need to buy anything. I don't want you to buy anything. I just want you can just go there. Okay. And then that's where you can test drive cars. Okay. So I want you to just go there, and if you don't, I want you to look good. You got to look good when you go to a Mercedes dealer in order to get their attention because, the cars are expensive. Okay. So you go there, just tell them, you just want to test drive a car. They'll let you, they'll take you around.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want you to drive like their electric car. Okay. They're getting out of the EV business. They are. And so if you're looking for an EV, there are deals to be had on the Mercedes EVs. Okay, they're going to take care of them. They're going to maintain them. Okay, whatever it may be. But I want you to compare that car that you just drove in on that Tesla, okay, to that car that you're going to test drive, that Mercedes EV. Okay, just do that. And I want you to like feel the seats. Okay, I want you to feel how it drives. I want you to look at the workmanship that the trunk actually matches the back of the car. That when
Imagine.
you that when you close the door and you're driving down the road, like in my plaid, is that you didn't hear like, okay, like because the windows just don't quite match. They just didn't quite. It was close. It was
It was close.
close,
It was so close.
but it's just not quite
But
there.
Kim, here's what's going to happen. They're going to drive their Tesla to the Mercedes dealership. They're going to test drive this Mercedes. They're going to say, wow, this is beautiful. This is great. I love this. And then they have to go home in their Tesla. What if they
But
can't?
it gives you a goal. Okay. It gives you something to work towards.
Amazing.
All right. It gives you something where you're like, you know what? I'm going to work a little harder. I'm going to get out there just a little bit more. And then when you hear people bad mouthing a Tesla, you can sit there and you go, you know, I get that.
Maybe
But
they're onto
maybe this is
something.
all I can afford. Okay. But you have something to strive for. So you're not just sitting there. I mean, it's such a shame about the Tesla driver who crashed while watching a movie. I mean, he's sitting there just watching a movie and he crashes. I mean, he really should have been watching the trailer. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Hey, it's Kim Komando Today. It's your 3 or 4 times a week podcast about all things digital. I mean, it's different than the show because we get to chit chat, we have interviews, and all kinds of great things like that. And also, we have Allie Seligman and Andrew Babinski normally here, but Andrew got in a little car accident. Don't worry. He's fine. Everything's great. He's going to be back with us on Monday. But just a reminder, too, that in case you ever want to send us a question, we'd love to hear from you, by the way, is head over to komando.com. And now yes, there's a button there that says Ask Kim. And that's where you can fill out that little form and it goes right directly to me. And I know you like to leave me your questions all over social media, and I do see them, but this is like the best place for me because I get so distracted. There's just so much going on in my life. Okay, so that's
too
where it is.
much.
Yes. So 2 things. Tell us what you want to hear more about, and you can do that over at Ask Kim. And number 2 is make sure you tell at least one friend. That's it. Just one friend about the Kim Komando Show, Kim Komando Today, how beautiful and wonderful Allie is. And so, Allie, what do you got?
All right. Not long ago, we were at the doctor, my husband and I with his doctor, and he said, you know what? I want you to switch one of your medications to something else and try this. Okay. Didn't seem like a big deal. Not too long later, we got this huge envelope from the insurance company that were just forms that basically said, nope, denied. And there's no information on why. And so I know a
So,
ton of people have gone through stuff like this.
so they just give you like a letter that says denied.
Yeah, it's a form letter. It just says denied. It doesn't, I mean, they have more words to basically give you no information. But the thing is, legally, if they have any other info, like maybe the doctor called and talked to somebody, maybe a nurse called, maybe, whatever. If there's any conversation, anything that happened, they are federally obligated to document this stuff. And if you know what to ask for, they'll give it to you. So the problem
Wow.
is, yeah, with that form, yeah, they're just going to send you the one. Most people are going to say, like, well, womp womp. I guess they're not going to cover it. Or your other option, I guess, is you get into that, you call the insurance company, you're on hold for like 3 hours, and then some person who may or may not be very helpful says, like, sorry, I can't tell you anything else. But ProPublica made a tool for this. So it's called the ProPublica Claim Help Finder. And basically, they have this whole process. They know exactly what to ask for and they'll help you do it. So you go to the site, which I'm not going to tell you because you're definitely not going to remember. So just make sure you're subscribed to the current winfromkim.com, right? And then next week, I'll put the link in there. But you go to the site, you fill out a few things, they help you generate this whole letter. And then they help you find the address to send it to, depending on your insurance carrier. And then within 30 days, they're obligated. They have to send you any information they have. So at least you'll get something.
Yeah. How does it take a long time to fill it out?
No, it doesn't take too long. I haven't done it because, I was preparing for this podcast, but it's not really that much stuff. Make sure that you have, your medical ID number, your any like claim or case numbers that are related to it. But it's really just filling out a few things, print it out, get it ready to mail, and then you're good to go.
It always feels like a scammy thing to me. Like, I needed to get an antibiotic for my eyeball because I had some stitches taken out of my
Yeah.
transplant, which all my stitches are gone. I'm so
Yay.
happy about that. Yay. So, and so I have learned over the last year that when I go to UCLA and the doctor gives me some different eye drop, that I should always go to the pharmacy right there at UCLA because that's
Mm.
where it's going to happen.
Hmm.
So he's telling me all about this drop and everything. He's like, okay, so I'm gonna put it in there, and then if they want to charge you for the eye drop, just come back and I'll check a different box. Okay, and then it should be free under your plan. So sure enough, I go over there and they want like $175 for these eye drops. So then I go back over to his office and I tell the gal my whole tale of woe. And she checks a box. And then I go back over to the pharmacy and it was $0.
Oh my gosh, Kim. Well, and that's a really good reminder. Be kind to your medical professionals. Talk to them like a regular person. Tell them what's going on. And there are cases where they can help you.
Oh, for sure. And I started writing the letter last night because with all the stitches out and I actually cried
No.
when he took the last stitch out, and I said, just you change. I mean, he did. This surgeon gave me my eyesight in my right eye. I mean, it's
Oh,
just
amazing.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, along with an organ donor,
Mm.
okay, which is always so important. And so if you're not an organ donor, everybody should be. I mean, you can't take it with you. You're not going to use it after the fact, okay? So it's not like you're like, okay, well, wait, I might need my heart afterwards, or my kidney, or my no, okay, you're not going to need it anymore.
You
So you might
won't.
as well just like give it to somebody else to use. So I asked him, how can I thank the donor family? How can I do that?
Oh.
And he said, there's really no real way to do that because we keep everything confidential and maybe the family doesn't want to know. And I said, well, there's got to be a way. And then he looks at me and goes, figures, Kim Komando, there is a way. There's always a way. And he said, why don't you write me the letter? And he said, and I'll bring it over and to the iBank, and then we'll get it to the donor family. So I'm working on that as we speak because I
Oh,
want to
that's
tell them a
wonderful.
story and what a difference it does make. So if you're not already an organ donor, just check the box on your driver's license. And then we also actually put, I think it's organdonor.gov, there's actually a place for you to fill that out. You can always put in all your records and all that other stuff because, again, you're not going to need it. You're just not going to need it anymore. You're not. Hey, it's Kim Komando Today. It's your podcast about everything digital and everything about us. It actually gives us a chance to maybe talk more than we can on a more personal level and discuss things on a more intimate level, too, because we're not constrained by the breaks within an actual radio show. So that's why, people say, well, should I listen to Kim Komando Today? Is the same thing that I'm getting on the show? No. Is it the same thing that I'm getting in the newsletter? No. Okay. There is always something so big going on every single day in tech, which I think is why I've just totally embraced this career over the years. And joining me is our amazing content queen today, Allie Seligman. So, Al, what do you have for the close?
AI. Okay, we have been talking about it a lot. Is that safe to say? Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
And we put a little poll in our newsletter, which I'm really excited about. I think we're going to do more of these because it's so easy. It's just one question, you click an answer. And so it's a really easy way to give your opinion, give feedback. You don't even have to write anything, but a lot of people did. So the question that we asked in our first poll, are you afraid of AI? Okay, we had 7,700 people respond when I pulled these numbers. It's probably more now because it just went out this morning. And 67% said, yes, I'm afraid.
I thought it'd be
67%.
high. I thought it'd be higher.
Did you? What were you,
Yeah,
what would have your guess have been?
I would have guessed over 80%. I would have guessed that.
Here's the thing. I bet, I don't know if this is, I'm no statistician, but our people, our readers are tech savvy. They're interested in technology. They're here because they care about this stuff, right? And so I think the more interested in it you are, maybe the less afraid and the more curious, the more optimistic. But I
Yeah,
bet
that could
for
be it.
general population, you're spot on. I'm sure that's right.
Well, I also noticed some of the comments because I was looking through them this morning,
Yeah.
is that people gave it a thumbs down, and then they wrote about how bad it was. You know, like
Okay.
so
Maybe some people
so
are a little confused about the options. All right, we
yes,
see that.
exactly.
But I comb through looking for, okay, what in general, like why yes, why no, what are people afraid of? I think Chaz has a good point. AI has the potential to advance science faster and further than any time in history. Absolutely. Yes, we're already seeing things. I mean, look at all of these cancer discoveries and diseases and, everything that it's doing with that is incredible. Um, we've got one from Jazz. AI is here to stay, whether you love it or hate it. Best to learn about it. Learn what it can and can't do. I am 86 and still learning. I love that one.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we've got here's a good one. Okay. I asked the newest Google version of AI search the same question 3 times, and I got 3 different and conflicting answers. It's an intrusive, perhaps spy vehicle that I believe everyone should fear. Absolute power corrupts. These AI programmers have an absolute power we can't block or get off the internet. For every great technological advance in history, evil has been right there to corrupt it and use against humanity for their own dangerous purposes. Janice is scared. That's from Janice.
Yeah, Janice, I was thinking like every advancement. I mean, don't watch that TV too long. You're gonna go blind.
Evil.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
but I get the
Yeah,
point.
evil.
For sure. Jules, this is kind of how I feel, how Jules feels. As a salesperson, marketer, and business development professional, I find it extremely useful, utilitarian, and insightful. Yeah, there's a lot to like if you use it. And then Laura, I feel it is another Hitler in the making.
Really?
Laura, no.
Oh, I don't that.
It's
I
too
don't think it's
far,
that.
Laura. It's too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, another common one, which we'll end with this one from Marilyn. I'm 72 years old, and although I'm fairly computer literate, this stuff is going too fast and it's too complicated for me. On the bright side, I'll probably die before the bots take over the world. LOL.
Well, you
Marilyn.
know, yeah. It can go both ways,
Oh,
and
for
it is a
sure.
wonderful tool. It's a great advancement, but we just have to figure out how we're gonna really control it and put our arms. I mean, people are saying, because some of the comments I saw, people are saying like, well, we can just unplug it.
No.
Not really.
No.
That's, it's not like you just walk over and go, okay, I know that China has your AI and that Iran and Iraq, you have AI too. And we do. And so does Israel and everybody else in North Korea. Because don't forget, Kim Jong-un sitting there with who was the basketball? Oh, Dennis Rodman
Yeah.
sitting there,
Yeah.
which I never understood that. I was watching that. I remember I was watching that whole thing unfold and it's like, hey, dude, how are you? And then Dennis Rodman comes out like all tattooed and pierced up.
A weird, a real odd couple, you'd say.
Just very odd
Okay,
couple.
so Kim, if you were going to answer the poll, are you afraid of AI? You have to pick yes or
Mm,
no.
yeah, yeah, because I think that it's advancing way too quickly, and the people that are trying to control it have no clue what they're talking about or what they're seeing. We have people who are putting the AI out there, and we have people and ethical teams that I don't know if you saw this story. I almost put it in the newsletter, but the entire ethical team for OpenAI are gone. They were laid off. Okay,
Oh,
so and they were
okay.
responsible for the development of the first Chat GPT. So so I don't really know what's going on the top level,
Yeah.
and so we have all these companies that are vying for control, and I just feel that it has the ability to quadruple. I mean, we had Moore's law with chips that every 3 to 5 years it would do that. Okay, no, this is like every 3 weeks, 6
Totally.
weeks.
Yeah.
So this 31-page report that we actually opened the show up with, it's outdated right now. Okay,
Absolutely.
okay. So for them to spend a year putting together an AI roadmap to spend $32 billion for research and development. Okay. And now they're going to go take it to the Senate so that they can take a look at it. Okay. By the time all this, it's just too slow. It's
Yeah.
just too slow. I
Yeah.
mean, it reminds me of like, when I was in grammar school and the nuns would sit there. Okay. And they were never nice. Well, a couple of them were nice, but they were never nice. Okay. And so I'll never forget is that, of course, I got my hand slapped with a ruler more than a few times in my
Sure.
life. But I'll never forget, like, there was this one nun, I think it was like Sister Apollonia, I think was the name. I don't know why I remember that. Probably because it was Apollonia. And every time I would ask a question or anybody in the class, it's like, what's 2 times 8 or whatever it was. And then she'd look at you and say, do you know the answer? With her ruler, she'd point at you with a ruler. And then if you didn't know the answer, she'd look at you and go, she'd say, too slow, next. Too
Oh
slow,
my
next.
gosh. That's why you remember her name.
Yes, too slow, next. Too slow, next. So it's kind of what we have is going on, too slow, next. Moving on, too slow, next.
Absolutely.
All right. So speaking of AI, Mads, our show producer here for Came Command Today, showed me this video, and it's at a Bloomberg tech conference where they're talking to EA's Ameca, and they're talking about the future of AI bots. And if you're listening to Ken Commando today, you can just listen along and you can hear the conversation. And if you'd ever like to actually see the video, is that you can go to youtube.com/Kim Commando. But here, let's take a listen and take a look.
Are robots going to take human jobs?
We're more about shifting roles rather than stealing jobs. Think of us as your new co-workers who don't drink all the coffee and never bring fish to microwave in the communal kitchen.
Ameca, there's some fear about robots. So I'm curious if you obey Isaac Asimov's
Understandable, but fear often comes from the unknown. I'm here to show that we can collaborate and coexist beneficially. Think of
She
me
looks
as
freaky.
a friendly neighborhood
Oh, yeah.
robot, minus swinging from buildings.
Would you ever hurt a person?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Yeah, she would. She would. I don't
And
believe
she
that.
could. Did you see that metal body?
You know what? She'd kick your butt. Okay. And she's got purple hair. Well, no hair, just a purple scalp.
Purple
You
head.
don't know what's going on. You can change that color, by the way.
Oh,
You can. So you can be purple, green, blue, whatever it may be. I mean, think about that. So we have all these people that are coloring their hair. Would you ever go have blue hair?
no, blue's not my color. I've had pink hair. I've had purple hair. I've had colorful hair.
Have you?
Yeah,
I
my
was thinking
sister-in-law
about
went to a cosmetology school when I was a teenager, so of course.
So you had pink hair. Well, that was Ameca. All right, on Mondays, Kim Komando Today, we have a really great guest. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. He was on our Bloomberg show a couple of years ago, Frank Abagnale. You know him. You know what he's done. Catch Me If You Can, that movie, phenomenal 2002 movie. He impersonated a Pan Am pilot, and he said he flew over 1 million miles for free. Okay, how do you do that? How do you do that? He faked a Harvard Medical School degree, and he worked as a resident in a hospital.
Oh my gosh.
He did pass the Louisiana bar exam, and he worked as an attorney. He was a college professor of sociology at Brigham Young University. Okay.
Wow.
But he's not talking about any of that. He's talking about how AI scams and the newest scams that are out there. It's like Scam Me If You Can, I think is a book that he wrote. So we're going to be talking more about scams. So that's on Monday's Kim Komando Today. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Al, thanks for being here. And for everybody who's wondering about Andrew, he will be back on Monday. He's fine. And don't forget to like, comment, share. And oh, yes, enter to win that new iPhone. Just do it now. Winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All right. Bye, everybody who's been
Bye.
watching. We appreciate you being here. Thumbs up. Yay. Little heart. Everything.